are going to be celebrating the new month. It's fall. And as we come into the new month, we want to start showcasing some really nice, healthy fall type recipes. And today we're going to be dealing with soup and an appetizer. And what we want to do is we want to start setting you up and letting you know that you don't have to sacrifice good, healthy eating during the holidays. So over the next few videos, we're going to be showcasing a delicious, healthy, organic Thanksgiving dinner. So come right back. Okay, we have a half a stick of butter, and we have about 12 chopped potatoes. We use a Yukon Gold, and they're about this size. So we got about 12 potatoes about this size right here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put the butter in this pan. It's all very simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to melt the butter, we're going to put the onions and the garlic in there, and we're going to sweat those for about 10 minutes, okay? So let's let that melting. While that's melting, we'll be right back. So now, we've let the onions and the garlic cook in the half a stick of butter. As you can see, you want to cook them to where they're called what? Translucent. So it's kind of a clear color. What this does is it's called sweating. And what it does is it allows the onions and the garlics to kind of meld together, and you get the flavor. It just kind of joins each other in there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our potatoes. We're going to pour them in there like that. Mix it around, get it all up there, get that butter up in there, make it nice and coated. Get all of them coated in there. At this point, you want to make, when you're doing this now, you want to keep your fire low. So what we're going to do, and you want to keep this, as you're cooking it, you want to keep the fire low so you don't brown the potatoes. You don't want to get any color in the potatoes, you just want to get them cooked. So we'll go ahead and we'll cover that up like that. And we'll let those cook for about 10 minutes. And so what we've done here, we've got the potatoes, we've got the onions, and the garlic, and as you can see, we've been cooking it for about 10 minutes. Very low heat. We don't want to get any color to the potatoes. We want it to stay the same color there, like that. The reason we do this again is because what happens here is it's kind of like a dating process for the onions and the garlic and the potatoes. They're dating, they get to know each other a little bit better before we actually marry them. Now what we're going to do now to consummate this wonderful little relationship is I've got 7 cups of chicken broth. It's heated. I'm going to pour that in there like that. Now the reason I heat it is because you don't want to pour a cold liquid over something that's already cooking, because what will happen is you'll do what's called stop cooking. It's a stop process, kind of like when you do with your pasta in the cold water and everything like that. It would do the same thing with the potatoes, and then it's going to kind of mess up the whole texture and everything that goes along with that. So we got that on there. Make sure that fires off. Put this in here. I'm going to add just a little bit of kosher salt. Now all this is to your taste. The salt, the pepper. A little tidbit. The reason I put this soup together was a very good friend of ours has developed some digestion issues, and so he had to have something very mild and very creamy. So you may want to add more onions. You may want to add more garlic. It's up to you. This one here I toned down for him specifically, so it was a little bit easier on his system. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn the heat up on this to about a medium heat, and we're going to let this cook for about 20 minutes. We've had this cooking for about 20 minutes. As you can see, it's gotten the potatoes are nice and done. The juice has gotten a little bit thicker, okay? Now what you want to do is after you simmer this, or it's kind of a light boil more than it is a simmer, for about 20 to 25 minutes, make sure or until the vegetables are good and done and soft and tender. Then you want to let it cool for about 6 to 10 minutes or so before you start putting it in the processor. So now what we're going to do, this is raw broccoli. I've chopped it up fairly fine. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put that in there like that. Go ahead and mix that around. Now the heat that's left in the soup is actually going to help cook the broccoli. So I didn't steam it or anything first, so we're just putting the raw broccoli in there. So now, since we're making a cream of potato and broccoli soup, I'm going to put in my trusty processor. As you can see, this processor is probably about as old as I am, but like myself, it's still in very good shape. So it was made somewhere back in the 1950s or something like that. Actually, it belonged to my wife's mother, so it's got some years on it. But hey, it still works good. And if it works, there's no reason to change. So we're going to pour that in there, like so. And depending on the size of your processor, you're probably going to have to do a couple of batches. Like that. Put the lid on. Make sure it's on there tight or it'll go all over the place. That's never happened. Okay, here we go. As you can tell, you can hear the mighty power of this powerful machine. And you got, oh, sorry. So you want to put it to the consistency that you want. If you like it to be kind of chunky with the potatoes and stuff in there, that's fine. Again, kind of developed this recipe like this because of our friend who needed something a little bit more easier to digest. Okay. English. Okay, so there you have it. Cream of potato and broccoli soup. I put a little bit of chives on top of it, and you know you can play with it a little bit. My wife likes the Asagio cheese on it. I put a little bit of Gouda in there just to kind of give it a little bit more of a texture and a little bit flavor. So when we come back, we're gonna show you how to do a nice little guacamole type appetizer that can go perfect with your dinner. But in the meantime, if you'll excuse me, you're gonna love it. We're back, and we're gonna be continuing on with this segment of our healthy road to Thanksgiving. We made our potato soup, and now we're gonna put in a little traditional appetizer for you. In our house, our tradition is when we have our Thanksgiving parties and we have people come over and everything like that, we always have guacamole with chips and pico and stuff like that. And so we're changing up a little bit this year because obviously guacamole is not bad for you. Avocados are a very great source of good fat. Organic tomatoes are great for you. Onions are good, like we said earlier, because it helps open up your blood and great antioxidants as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start by putting our pico together. I've got one large organic tomato, and the ratio I use, usually like with one large tomato, I use like a quarter of an onion, and I dice it up pretty small, like that. Put that in there. Pico de gallo is just really easy to make. So that's kind of the ratio you're looking for. You always want to have more tomato. Too much onion, it gets way too strong. Okay, then we do the cilantro. A little tidbit about cilantro. The reason I got it in here, so when you're picking cilantro, when you go to the store, obviously we're doing organic, so you always want to make sure that your cilantro is like a real deep dark green. And then what you want to do is you want to take it, break off a piece, and smell it. And oh, it smells so good. I love the smell of cilantro. It's so fresh. It's got a really sweet, aromatic aroma, and it's really good. And it's good for you too, as well. So that's how you pick cilantro. Now what I do here, the way I store cilantro, and this will add the life of your cilantro, probably at least a good week, maybe two sometimes, is I'll take a glass jar. I'll rinse the cilantro once I get it home, rinse it real good. I'll take a glass jar, fill it up with some ice, and then put water in it. And then I cut the bottoms off, stick it in there, cover it with plastic real well so there's no air in it, and then I cover it up. And that, like I said, that'll add the life of your cilantro. Probably about, sometimes I get like 2 weeks out of a bunch of cilantro, one bunch of cilantro. So we'll go do this. Like I said, cilantro is very flavorful. It's very aromatic. Cilantro actually, like parsley, has a lot of antioxidants in it. It helps the immune system, helps open up your blood system and everything too as well. So you don't need a whole lot. Again, it just depends on how much you're making. It depends on your taste. Just kind of loose chop it like that. Put that in there. Mix that up. A little bit of kosher salt. And again, that's to your taste, but go easy on the salt. Too much salt is not good for you. Mix that up. Now just put a little bit of squeezed lime. Just a little bit, you don't want it too tangy. Generally, when you look at pico, the tomatoes might not seem as ripe as that. But when you're dealing with organic, one thing you're going to notice when you start dealing with organic produce, your produce is it's not going to look like that real pristine, picture perfect type tomato and everything like that you're going to see in on the hothouse tomatoes that are grown in greenhouses and stuff like that. Because there's nothing sprayed on these. There's no preservatives on it. There's no type of chemicals or anything sprayed on it. They make those tomatoes look so big and bright and red. This is all natural. Farm to table, that's the best thing to do. So you're going to notice a difference in the organic produce that you start using. Very good. Okay, step 2. I've got 4 avocados here. They're small, about medium size. I've cut them in half. Take that, to get that pit, just put the knife in there, twist it around like so. Get rid of that. And then just take a spoon, like so. And there it is. And sometimes, in the immortal words of in the immortal words of, who was the gentleman that said that? Life is like a box of chocolates. Well, avocados are somewhat like a box of chocolates as well, because you never know what you're going to get. Another segment, I'll show you how to pick a good avocado. But sometimes when you pull them out, you will have a little bit of that on the back side. Not going to hurt you. Just take it out, like so. And then you remember our modern blender? We're going to use it for this here today. It's very quiet. You don't hear the roaring of that motor. Just take and mix that up. If you like it, if you like your guacamole like creamy, then of course you can use a different process as far as that goes. I happen to like the guacamole to still have some nice texture to it, nice and chunky. Okay, so now what I do, let me get into the spoon. Be right back, don't go away. Take a little bit of the pico that I've made, put that in there, depending on how many vegetables you like in there, like that, and just kind of toss it up. Toss it a little bit like that. Also what I do, and I'm not doing it in this particular one, but you may like to add some jalapenos, some serranos or something to give your guacamole a little bit of spice. I personally like serrano pinos. What I do is I chop up some serranos and some jalapenos, I mix them up, and I put them in my guacamole to give it a nice little kick. Put that over there. I'm gonna need that in a minute. So, always taste your food. You want to make sure it's good before you start serving it to anybody else. That needs a little bit more salt. And some pepper. All right. Then what we're going to do is right here, we have sweet potato tortilla chips. This was a great find because when we stopped eating all the junk food and everything like that, we're wondering, was like, well, you know what? We really like chips. We like chips. We like guacamole. We like pico and stuff like that. So what are we gonna do? So we went down to our local natural health store, grocery store, and we found these sweet potato tortilla chips. Sweet potatoes, as we know, are very good for you. They're low cholesterol, no cholesterol actually, very low in fat, a good source of fiber for your diet. And what they've done is they've taken these tasty little things and they made chips out of them. It's a corn chip. The main ingredient is sweet potato. So what we're going to do with this, I'm going to take these. Let me get it real quick. Don't go away, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And all these are just like little snacks, little hors d'oeuvres for people when they come over. You're sitting around, you're getting ready to have big dinner. If you watch football, whoops, wait, hang on a second. If you watch football, then you can sit and you can have these for snacks. This is Manchego cheese. It's actually a very rich cheese. It's kind of pungent, but it's got a good complement for this right here. Put a little bit of that on there. Okay, so I'm going to assemble these. Look on the screen here. There's going to be a little bit of information for you, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, and there you have it. A good, healthy, very easy to make kind of snack for your holidays, for Thanksgiving that's coming up. It's just another segment for our road to a healthy Thanksgiving. That's kind of what we're going to call it right now, okay? We're going to be adding another segment here pretty soon. We're going to give you another soup. We're going to give you another appetizer, just things to kind of help fill your company up while they're here. And you never want to send anybody home hungry, but you always want to try to feed them as healthy as possible. So there you have it, sweet potato chips with good organic guacamole and pico with a little bit of Manchego cheese in there. So I think maybe, let's see, this one looks really good right there. So, very good, very good. The cheese kind of gives it a really nice little kick to it. Very good cheese. So stay tuned and listen. We really encourage you guys to watch our videos. We like to have fun here, kind of mix it up a little bit, but we're very serious about this. We're very serious about our health. Unfortunately, it took me getting cancer to get serious about it, but we're serious about the food and everything. So give us some comments. We'd love to hear from you. We want to hear what you have to say. Maybe there's something bothering you. Or maybe you just want to be healthier, you know, be able to be a little bit more active and everything like that. Our body says a lot to us, and it's to be really seriously about it. We need to take better care of our bodies, and that's what this is about. And we want to hear from you. We want you to share your thoughts, share your feelings. Maybe you've just been diagnosed with something. We want to hear about it. We want to know how we can help you. Okay? So, and please, when you're done watching the videos, reach down there and click subscribe. We really need your support. And we thank you for watching. And It's gonna be a great day.